My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step.
You know, he was the same as when I met him in college. He was an explosion of energy and vision, absolutely brilliant, and somebody that I had a great time with and a lot of fun. It hasn't changed in all these years.
Those years span half a century. Mayor Carolyn Goodman has been married to former Mayor Oscar Goodman for 49 years.
Well, actually longer than 50 years, because my parents hated him initially and said, don't marry him. This can't work out.
Is that right?
And absolutely.
Well, absolutely correct. But then her father thought he would get rid of me by teaching me that I should drink a martini, and had no idea that that would be the glue that bound us.
That's where you learn the skill.
Absolutely.
Oscar and Carolyn came to the city they would eventually each lead back in 1964, finding a still relatively unpolished jewel in the desert, home to fewer than 100,000 people.
On a wish and a prayer and a dream to build a family and to participate in a community where in some small way we could make a difference. And obviously you know the impact of what he's done.
Oscar went to work building a law practice, and before long, his client base included some of the most notorious figures of the day.
When he decided to run for mayor in 1999, that work history made some question whether he was fit to lead the city. He says it was the perfect preparation.
What job is tougher than to represent Meyer Lansky or Tony Spilotro when the whole community says that they're bad people, and they never spent a day in jail when I represented them. So if I was able to take care of them, I wanted to take care of the city the same way.
Don Snyder is dean of UNLV's Hara Hotel College and chair of the board for the Smith Center for the Performing Arts. He wasn't a fan at first, says he was part of the anyone but Oscar crowd when Goodman first announced his intentions to run for mayor.
But soon they were working together on plans for the Smith Center. Don remembers a flight to check out the Kravis Performing Arts Center in Florida when he got a taste of Oscar's style.
We had just taken off, and we hadn't been in the air 5 minutes, and Oscar starts reaching in every single pocket in his suit and started bringing out these little bottles of gin. And I said to him, I says, Oscar, didn't you think we would have gin on the plane? He says, I didn't think you'd have good gin.
Then Don got his first glimpse of what happens when Oscar Goodman sets his sights on a goal during a tour of the Kravis Center.
And Oscar, while the lady's still talking, says, holy shit, we've got to have one of these. And now we are going to have one of these.
True story.
Yeah.
True story. True story.
The Smith Center is almost finished now. The Mob Museum, another pet project for Oscar, opened this week. Just two of the many fruits of Oscar Goodman's 12 years of labor in the mayor's office.
What you did is provide leadership and energy over a 12-year period of time that was inspirational to all of us, and it helped to get things done that just wouldn't have gotten done otherwise. So thank you for that.
But the other thing is that he was very persistent. I mean, one of the things we saw at a staff level is that, you know, every day you'd walk in, you'd meet with him, and he'd say, how are we doing on the arena? How are we doing on the medical center? How are we doing on the performing arts center? How are we doing? I mean, the whole list.
Some people might say stubborn.
You had to be prepared.
Everything was designed to make sure that people could succeed in the city of Las Vegas. That we have done, and that wasn't me. That was the city of Las Vegas and the wonderful people who are there every single day that we appreciate.
What Oscar didn't appreciate was criticism, never understanding why anyone did not see things his way.
One person had written some letter to the editor, and he said, Cheryl, his assistant, Cheryl, find this person in the phone book. And he called this woman from the editorial and convinced her that she was wrong. I mean, that was the kind of working environment I was in. He didn't like anybody not being convinced of our position, and I tell you what, he just stood on that position until we got it done, and it's really incredible. It's from a staff position, that's so awesome because you can stay focused, get it done, and look at what you get out of it. Having that kind of leadership, that focus for that long a time, it's really incredible.
Leadership and showmanship. With a cocktail in hand and showgirls by his side, the Martini mayor became a living symbol of the city he loved.
Going back to those early days, one of the biggest challenges we had is getting Oscar to come out of his shell. We all worked on that, and it seems to have worked for him.
He's shy and retiring and self-effacing.
He doesn't have the time.
No, he just hasn't gotten this together. He doesn't know how to mingle with people and establish a sense of anything.
Maybe one day. Maybe this place will help.
Day.
These days, Oscar is back in business with the Speakeasy and Steakhouse bearing his name at the plaza, and this subtle portrait greeting guests on their way in.
I'll tell you this, the prime rib, order the Oscar cut. The Carolyn cut's a little small. The Oscar cut, you take it home after you're through here, you eat it for 5 days. It's wonderful.
Oscar's Beef, Booze, and Broads is the latest roll of the dice for a man who's been betting on Las Vegas for 48 years and isn't about to stop anytime soon.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, we are the greatest city in the world. I'll tell you why. Our infrastructure is in place. We've got the best hotels, the best casinos, the best cuisine, the best retail boutique shopping, the best entertainment. All of that is the best. So we can't fail. We're unique. We're different than any other place. We just have to be optimistic.
I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew, and